Chronologies and timelines are some of the most powerful tools an investigator can use. They take a messy collection of facts, interviews, documents, and digital records, and turn them into a clear, logical sequence. Once we know the order of events, we can see patterns, understand cause and effect, and spot the gaps or contradictions that matter most. A good timeline becomes the roadmap for the entire investigation. When there are multiple allegations or incidents spread over weeks or months, a timeline helps us keep everything straight. Plotting events on a calendar often reveals who was present at certain times, which helps us identify witnesses we might have missed. And by laying everything out in order, we make sure we don't overlook any part of the story. Every allegation gets examined, every event gets questioned, and nothing slips through the cracks. In cases like fraud or theft, timelines can even help us predict future behavior by showing recurring patterns. To build a defensible timeline, we follow a structured method. First, we define what counts as an event. An event is a single action that we know or reasonably believe happened. Omissions are analyzed later, but they don't go directly into the sequence. Then we gather accurate timestamps. Digital artifacts like metadata, MAC times, and system logs give us hard time frames. Attendance records, payroll logs, and expense reports help confirm whether someone was actually present when they said they were. Simple cases can use a straight linear timeline, but complex cases often need branch diagrams to show how different streams of events converge. One of the biggest benefits of a timeline is that it highlights what's missing. Large gaps in someone's story periods where they can't explain what they were doing often point to where misconduct occurred. When a witness gives information out of sequence, it may mean they've edited their story to hide something. And comparing subjective time, it felt like 5 minutes. With objective time, the log shows it lasted 45 seconds, helps us distinguish between honest mistakes and intentional distortion. We also use the should have happened test. If something should logically occur before or after an event but didn't, we investigate why. Timelines also play a major role in interviewing. Asking a witness to walk through events in order, then later asking about those same events out of order, can reveal inconsistencies. Cognitive interviewing techniques like asking someone to recall an event backwards or from a different perspective often bring out details they didn't remember the first time. But we also need to be trauma-informed. People who have experienced trauma may remember events in fragments or sensory impressions rather than a clean sequence. Forcing a strict timeline in those cases can be harmful and lead to unfair judgments about credibility. Finally, timelines strengthen the investigative report. A visual timeline helps decision-makers see exactly how the pieces fit together. It creates a clear chain of events that supports the findings and makes the reasoning behind the conclusions easy to understand. So chronologies and timelines aren't just organizational tools, they're analytical engines. They help us see the story, test the evidence, and build a defensible, coherent narrative of what truly happened.